So on to day 25 in the New Testament, and there's a few things that I love in this passage. The first one is actually Jesus getting really frustrated when he comes down the mountain from the Transfiguration, which we read about yesterday, but for him that was just a few minutes ago. He's walked down the mountain, he's had this incredible encounter with the Father, and then suddenly he finds himself with his disciples that don't believe anything. They're probably just there very embarrassed. This other guy is there with his demon-possessed son, and just the frustrations and the heaviness and the burden of life and of him trying to fulfill the mission God's given him almost feels like they just hit him again, and he suddenly just gets frustrated. He's like, gosh, how long have I got to be here before you guys are going to get this? And sometimes I find that, maybe sometimes you find that, you can have like one day where with God it's like, this is awesome, and I just have this closeness with you, God, and it seems like you're right there. And then other days, maybe even the next day or maybe the same day, suddenly everything feels really frustrating, and it's like the mission that we've got to kind of serve people and love people and tell people about Jesus and build God's kingdom can become incredibly hard. And it's like I feel like I thought I was making progress, and now today I just find myself really annoyed and frustrated that I don't seem to be getting anywhere. Take encouragement from the fact that even Jesus found that. We're not alone if he feels like that. That's incredible. And then moving on, I love the little story about the fish. Isn't that just a weird story? One of these weird, crazy ones from the Bible. And on one level, it's of course it's possible. I mean, God does anything, and this is just another slightly weird miracle that he chooses to do. Why the coin has to be in a fish's mouth, nobody knows. But there are fish in the Sea of Galilee called mushed fish that have really big mouths that can kind of easily swallow a drachma coin, and they would be attracted to shiny things. And of course, the miracle part is that Peter happens to catch a fish, which, as far as we can tell in the rest of the Gospels, doesn't seem to happen at all. That's the real miracle. But anyway, he catches the fish. There's the coin. What does that say? It says that God can do the strangest, most impossible miracles. And so the question I'd have is, what miracle do we need from him today? It might be something really serious. It may be someone we know who's ill. It may be something perhaps that on one level is a smaller thing, but we need help from him. Ask him for help. Jesus says the key is actually it's faith. It's faith, but it doesn't need to be a lot of faith. It's a small faith in a great God. Faith the size of a mustard seed. But what we're doing is we're trusting that God has great power and that he has great mercy and he cares greatly. So ask the great God with our tiny little seed of faith to help us today, and then see what happens and see what you put out the sea.